Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. We're already having a blast here. I'm here with Michelle Wolfe. Michelle, how are you doing? You took that trip to Sedona. We are dying to hear all about it.
I'm dying to tell you. Yeah,
Awesome.
it was just so much action-packed fun into 5 days of experience. So, been decompressing since I got back. It's like felt like I stepped out of time for a little while for sure. Really added to that effect.
Yeah, now tell me, when you landed there, you looked around, is it not like a different place? It's almost like you landed on like a civilized Mars or something. You know what I mean? It's very,
Absolutely, and even just the way the houses blend into everything. They don't stand out. They just like they blend into the color of everything, and um everything just flows there. And the color contrast, especially with the time of year of the blue skies and the red rock and then the fresh green that was growing in, it was just stunning visually. It's just stunning.
did you have
Which
time to paint anything?
yeah, we did make some time. So yeah, was
I know
really
Renee mentioned a little bit of it, but yeah.
yeah, we got a couple little times to sit. I didn't have quite the hiking ability that Travis and Tyler do, at 6'3" or whatever they are with these long legs and quite a bit younger. So, but they were so great, and yeah, I just kind of did things in stages and got a great view. But was also the first day we went to Bell Rock, and Renee and I found a cool little. Well, Renee found that. I'll give total credit to the Renee on that one. Found a cool little spot that we perched in and chatted with some lizards and just did some sketching and that, and just enjoyed the view. And that was like right on the first day, our first hike. That was really
Was it
amazing.
to Bell Rock or?
Yeah, we did Bell Rock first, and then we went to Slide Rock for a swim after, and that was a lot of fun. It looked man-made, just the way the rock is so smoothed and
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Did you slide? Did you jump
Yep,
off
I
the thing or just
tried
slide
to. Oh,
down
I did
the?
jump. Yes, I
You jumped off
jumped.
that one
Oh,
part where? Oh my god!
oh yeah, yeah. They
Oh,
tried to get me on film. Renee did, but I was too fast.
it's that
Everybody
water's
else was
cold.
doing
That's
the
like snow
yeah.
water, isn't it?
It was cold. Yeah, it was cold. And yeah, everybody else and it was funny because everybody else I was doing this count, right? It's going 1, 2, 3. People I didn't even know. 1, 2, 3. Of course, when it comes to my turn and I get up there, I was like, if I stand there through 1, 2, 3, I'll change my mind. So I just booked
That's
it
that
and
rebel in
jumped,
you.
and
You're like,
they got me basically as I'd already landed in the water. So but we got everybody else and me cheering people on.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
so people know, if you want to see some views of Slight Rock, in my Sedona video, I showed quite a bit of it from up on the hill, from down low, all the
So
water
cool.
shots and video in that Sedona video were from Slight Rock that you're talking about. I got a few people
Yeah.
sliding down, somebody jumping
Yeah.
off, and
That was
yeah.
funny. I sat back on the rock and watched people slide down, and they start, and then literally they get turned over tea kettle, legs up in the air, and water's freezing cold. So yeah, but
Wow.
after the hike and going from the temperature here to there, it was like boom, 30 degrees. As soon as I got off the plane, it was like walking into a wall. So we had beautiful weather the whole time. It just got thunderstorms the very last night we were there, but every day was just gorgeous, stunning. It was perfect weather. So yeah, but it was hot. That's a big transition in the hike. So I definitely did the cold water. But what I loved even more was on the Sunday we went to Buddha Beach, and that
Haven't been there.
was private, like much more private. There was hardly anybody there. Just kind of a couple people here and there dispersed, and it was just
Is there a
it was
waterfall
just
there?
beautiful. I didn't see a waterfall there, but we found a picnic table, and it's like just this little river, and the view is just gorgeous. It's just this. I did get some video of that. Travis got some video of that, and I'm gonna put in, and it's just so peaceful. It's just like listening to one of those meditation um, videos,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like the
Mm-hmm.
water and the birds are chirping, and you
I
hear the
love it.
water trickling over the rocks, and then you look up, and it's just this like red mountain just in front of you. That's the view, is just the river with the trees hanging over all green, and then boom, red mountain. So it was just stunning place to hang out. The atmosphere was just so peaceful there, as opposed to sort of the ruckus of Slide Rock and a lot more people and tourists. This was like a really quiet place to go. I had to send you a shot because the chemtrails were insane.
Oh, were they? See, they
Just
weren't that bad. It seemed like I could see
insane.
them in the distance, but when they got to the Sedona area, they disappeared. But it wasn't like that for you, huh? I thought it might be
This
the
is
rocks
sunset. It's
doing it.
always sunset, eh? This is what they pull
Yeah.
out at sunset. So I wanted to send you one of these because it was just so ridiculous. And I mean, the Schumann was just spiking the whole. I think it waited till I got on the train on my trip, and the Schumann started going off. It was literally blasting all those
Have you noticed
ticks,
it
those micro
pulsating?
ticks. Yeah, so
What's
we've got to
what's
talk
that
about
all? Yeah,
that
we'll
too,
get to
eh?
that in a second. Let's look
But
at your
that
pictures.
literally started on the 24th, like when I left. Those
Mm-hmm.
ticks. Oh, this is Sunday night. This is where we went, and we walked
This
around the
is
other
this the
side.
Port Mesa one, or is this?
No, that wasn't. Oh, Boynton or
Oh,
Boynton.
okay, Boynton
Yeah,
Canyon. Yeah,
Boynton
okay.
Canyon. And yeah, we were able to walk around that peak there,
Mm-hmm.
sneak around to the very front of it, and there was just this little ledge that with the four of us sat in, and we meditated at sunset. There's
Wow.
Travis there. So yeah, we walked around just the outside of it. You kind of had to duck and crawl
Mm-hmm.
around to this little lip
Oh,
that
I
stuck out.
didn't even see.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah, we
this
went
here?
right around to the front of it, and then the
Okay.
view was just like just
Wow.
yeah, incredible view. And that's where we watched the sunset. And that's where I took the picture, that the previous picture that I was showing you, all the chemtrails
Yeah.
were just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's almost like a. Look at that right there.
Yeah, their
It's almost like a
faces
totem.
are in the rocks. That's we were
Yeah.
laughing. How many
Look at there.
faces there are in the
Yeah. There's so many
rocks?
faces in there. The
So many
pareidolia is
faces,
crazy.
all
Look at
kinds
this
of
one.
expressions. Yeah, that's kind of the fun part.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. I think the thing that's so impressive is, when you look at pictures like this is
Mm-hmm.
view.
Like, look at this. It looks like
I know.
elongated
But
people
it's
standing
so
up here.
massive. That's the thing, is that like you
Yeah.
look at pictures and it looks really cool, but when you're actually standing there in front of it,
Yeah. It's way more
it's
grand and
enormous.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just so overwhelming.
Look at this
And
little
the
face here.
colors. You see the faces?
Yeah. It's almost like a horse head, sort of, or a
Mm-hmm.
bull head or something. But that looks like an arm, a really long
Right
arm
there
hanging
with a
down.
sword.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Makes you wonder. But yeah, you can see faces all through this. I love
all
pareidolia. That's
through.
one of the fun parts of just staring out in nature and just enjoying it. Is looking
Yeah,
at all that.
the
Clouds
patterns
too.
that they make, and you can even see the movement. Like when we went to Bell Rock, Travis was saying you could see like how the rock just almost like pulls, the lines pull in that spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is another place we went to get a good view. That
It's
mountain right
beautiful.
across there is the view we had from. We were right down in the valley where we were staying, so we had a view of that mountain there,
Mm-hmm.
right out the window. It was absolutely incredible. This is
Wow.
just weird skies. This is the first night. So, I mean, I was definitely noticing a lot of crazy stuff in the sky. Like it was purple.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's not even facing the sunset. That's the opposite direction from where the
Oh
sun was
wow.
setting. And
That's
the
amazing.
thunderstorm had just passed, and then I got that shot of the rainbow that I sent you too. So that was part of it. Look
Oh,
at the
that's
color.
I think that one's gonna come up last, but it's one for last. That's a great one. Look at this,
Yeah,
yeah.
like the colors in the
Yeah. And I
sky
love how the
too.
Yeah, and in the morning and at night, the way the light catches these edges
Mm-hmm.
really makes it.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the view right from our place. It was very we
Wow.
loved the place we were staying. It was really cottagey
Oh, nice.
feeling. Yeah.
And it was right in Sedona, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Airbnb.
There it is. Look at that. That is
Isn't
amazing.
that
I
crazy?
love
That was the
that.
first night. That was the first night.
Wow.
Right after was a short rainstorm, like half an hour, and we got that. There was a double rainbow, but it didn't come out as well. So, but yeah, those trees were so tall. I thought it was such a great picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really bright, really, really bright. Doesn't do it justice on the picture for how bright
Yeah.
it was in person with the colors. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Mm-hmm.
totally like that. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
and the colors in the sky with the clouds, very strange. And the other thing was, so, like, we took quite a few shots of like when the sun was setting with all those chemtrails, and what we were seeing with our eyes. There were so many colors swirling around, like these rainbow colors in the clouds, but it just didn't come up as much on the camera. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. Pretty sure we were seeing an object up there that they were trying to cover. So I'm gonna go through those pictures and try playing with the lensing effects and see if I can pull out what we were seeing. But hmm
I
I'm
want
pretty
to
convinced they're trying to cover up some
cover
stuff.
something up, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're working overtime on it now.
I
Seems
think
like
so too. It seems like it's been like I went out this morning and it was just covered like crazy with like a
yeah,
really thin
sunrise and
layer.
sunset.
And then as the day went on, they turned into these huge puffy clouds. They look beautiful, but I mean, they were really covering the sky, with not much light coming through. So it does appear
Yeah.
like whatever
Well,
they're doing is very effective as far as producing clouds.
it was interesting yesterday. It was about an hour or so before sunset. So some of the chemtrails had started to kick in. And okay, so you know how when the sun gets the halo and it gets those sun dogs, right? What they
Hmm.
call these sun dogs. Well, there wasn't a halo specifically, the specific circle around the sun, but what appeared to be a white cloud. I realized after watching it, it wasn't the white wasn't moving. Okay,
Hmm.
so what was going on is, like, how you get the sun dogs at the side that are illuminated.
Right.
So when looking at the sky, it looked blue, but a little bit hazy,
Hmm.
a little bit hazy to it. But when it was hitting this one area, what I realized, it was like a flashlight. It would be like where the sun dog would be.
Hmm.
Okay, but what appeared to be, it just kept showing as like a white cloud. So if you would look at the sky, you would look and just think it was a white cloud passing by. But the problem is that what the light wasn't moving. So it was basically like a flashlight, and then what appeared to be blue hazy sky would get in front of this area that didn't move, would get in front of it, and then it would illuminate all the white cloud, the haze that you
Hmm.
couldn't really see
Right.
over
It's like an
here. Over here,
artificial atmosphere, though. Yeah.
so over here it looked kind of hazy blue. But then as it's moving, so it would be like, like when the moon has clouds going in front of it.
Hmm.
And you can see, because it illuminates behind, and then you can see the clouds moving. So I realized what was going on. This was not a white cloud that was moving in the sky. It did not move. I watched it for over, half an hour, like keeping an eye. Like, it didn't go anywhere. It was illuminated, and the haze was moving in front of it. And then all of a sudden it looked like, boom, there was clouds there.
Wow.
It was really showing this, like, what it
Like
kind of
they're a
looks like blue
hologram almost,
sky.
or a
Was like,
screen or projection
yeah.
or something, rather than really having clouds there. Is that what you're feeling like? What was your first impression?
Well, it's like somebody flashing a flashlight, and it looked like there was nothing there, but when it hits that illumination, you can see that there is clouds there, but it
Oh, I
just
got you.
looks like blue sky. But there's obvious a light source that's coming through. It would be in the same location that the sun dogs usually are, right? Which is just about a little lower than,
Like 3 and 9 o'clock usually. Here, let me
yeah,
share the
about
screen here.
8:30, right? It's like just a little bit down more.
All right.
And Yeah, but it was just a bit. It was a bit down more, like
Right,
more like
more
eight.
like towards the bottom of one of these
Yeah, and
sundials,
on
or
the
on this
left hand
side.
side, on the left
Hmm.
hand side. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that was very unusual.
Yeah.
And if you're just looking at it, you're going to see how you see the little white clouds in the background of that picture.
Yeah.
So be like one of those little white spots. And you're just
Hmm.
going to think, oh, it's just a cloud moving across the sky. But you could see cloud moving, but the spot never moved.
Right.
It stayed in
That's
the same location.
well. I think part of it is like that. Like this works is that clouds can move through here, and this will get more or less rainbowy looking, and it can disappear altogether if there's not enough of it over there. So.
Yeah. And it was really, see how that's orangey on one side too? That
Hmm.
was the other thing. It was like reddish orangey glow. So
Mm.
it made it look like there was a cloud that was sort of orangey-ish on one side, which is kind of what caught my attention in the first place.
Hmm.
And then I think that the cloud's moving, but I realize the cloud's not going anywhere, yet I can see cloud movement going across this area. Um and it was rounded, like it was, yeah, like that, like it lit it up. It lit the cloud up.
Hmm. That's wild.
But oversee, if you look on the other part of your screen, like that, you
Whoops.
see how it's kind of hazy where it looks blue, but there's still kind of a hazy look.
Right. So like in this
Like,
area, like here and here, or
yeah, a little
no,
more blue. Yeah. Like away from it. Yeah.
up here, because this is still
Yeah.
hazy too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it would look, what? It would look a lot like this, except brighter,
Hmm.
orangey on side. But then it wasn't the clouds that were light. It was
Right.
light.
Like there was a separate light source over there.
Yeah, so you see
Maybe
how
it's
it's
one of
like
those
orangey
mirror
on one
things.
side too? It had
You
it
know
where
those
it's orange.
reflectors that they say are in
Is
orbit
it
or
part of the
whatever?
lensing system?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or is that
Because that's pretty bright for it not being anything.
I think it's
You
another
know?
object that's giving off light and it's
Hmm.
part of the lensing system, so it kind of refracts it off the edges. But
Do you
there
think
was no
it's
halo
like?
yesterday.
Do you think they're like trying to cloak something within the circle, like some assume?
Yeah.
Here I
There's
see a
something behind
star.
there. Because if I didn't want you to see my face, I'm going to put a flashlight right in front of it, right in
Right.
front of my face. I'm going to put a flashlight. It's not the object that blocks, it's light. Because then you can't see anything that's going on behind here. I can wave my hands like this. You won't see it. And I think it's essentially what it is.
Right.
And then the haze that they put in the sky, well, that just blocks it even more. The light all bounces around in those clouds
Yeah.
and it causes that blur. So kind of like pulling a curtain across.
Interesting times. Yeah, and I often wonder because I see them all the time now, and I never used to see them. So I don't know. It
Yeah,
seems new to me.
last couple
So
years.
I was going to ask you about the energies. What was your take on how did they? You had expectations. Kind of hard not to. So how did it? Was it different than you imagined?
I definitely did feel it like right away. Once we settled in at the house, like I could really feel it, and it really felt like being in the center of a revolving door. So I mean, I've experienced like the energy within me getting a spin. We can get these energies. I feel sort of an internal vortex going on where I feel that energy spin, but this was much broader. It felt like outside of myself. So like literally like placing yourself in the center of that revolving door, and there was this feeling, and it would blur the peripheral vision
Oh wow.
a little bit. So it was like doing this.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was like feeling like you're being in a revolving door, and it was much broad. What I really noticed is how much broader the feeling felt. I felt I think when we get a portal energy that's coming in can give us that spin, but it's very much within my energy field, within my form that I feel it. This felt broader outside. It was like I called it the whip-a-whirl. That's what I was calling. And then it turned out we were on Whippet Drive or Whippet Way. We were on Whippet Way. I called it the Whip-a-Whirl. And they're like, yeah, we're on Whippet Way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love
And
those synchronicities.
it was a bit like that Whippet ride, like or the ride that where the G-force pushes you back
Yeah.
a bit against it, like feeling that feeling. Definitely felt that. So really noticed it. Dreams were really powerful when I was there, like really really something. On the Saturday, both Travis and I did really experience something. For me, it was in the morning when I woke, and I was processing something that I had no explanation for why. Like I woke from my dreams, and they were great, they were fun dreams, nothing bad, scary, sad, nothing like that. But I woke up with some very unusual feelings that I'm so grateful I had Travis to express them to, because we dream share so much, right? And it was very unusual. There was a mourning for the loss of my humanity, which sounds strange. I definitely was left with the impression that the time is short now. And um, there was a real whoosh of how blessed in this experience that we don't often feel, that we don't often feel. And even, still, coming back, I've definitely even had this up and down feeling, but I try to remind myself of this. Um, there was a mournful feeling to it. It wasn't grief, but there was also this greater understanding of how blessed we are.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a very unusual experience. I didn't have like words specifically that were going like through my head that were provoking this.
Did you
It
say
was,
words or thoughts going through your
yeah,
head? Okay.
I didn't, it was just this welling up of emotions. Like it was a real flood, and uh, not something I've experienced. I in a very long time, if I have, to be left, like to be wake up. It's not like I had a bad dream that would, sometimes when you have something sad happen, a dream, you play it out and you wake up and it kind of leave that impression. But there was nothing there that explained me having this such a, like, to be crying for an hour in the morning with no explanation. That's not usual behavior for me. It's not and it wasn't that I was sad. There was sadness, but it was just such a mix of emotions that I couldn't even, and I didn't have an explanation for why.
You think it was the
But
flood of energies and just trying to process
something,
that and all of that?
well, then it
Because,
happened to Travis later on that day, in the evening when we were done our day. And then and I saw it hit him when it hit him too, because he got the blessed part as well. There was you know, there was very complex feelings to this. And I'm not going to assume that his thing was completely like mine, but I did sense the same tones in it. And it just was this welling up, right? And feeling that,
almost like a purging of some sorts then.
yeah, a real peak moment in this time of realization, right at the edge,
Mm-hmm.
right at the edge of something, where I think things are going to change very drastically. I think there was a real reminder, uh as to choosing this experience for certain reasons, although it may not be fun at times. There's been blessings along the way, and I think there was part of myself that has a greater understanding of this timing and these timelines, and was just appreciating those blessings in that moment, because every moment goes. But it was on a very large level. It wasn't anything I could put my finger on specifically. And and it was just an overwhelming feeling. Um, that was really unusual. You're not going to really usually get pretty in depth or, honest with myself about what something's stemming from specifically, and bringing those emotions back. This was very large and non-specific. I could not pin it down, but it was such a welling up of different emotions. Maybe some emotions of being human. Um, Even in a way, because there was an aspect of farewell to my humanity experience, my human experience in a way, but I couldn't tell you why. I couldn't, that it really is the only thing I could do was what was popping up was certain images from dreams that I'd had a very long time ago, which were event dreams and specific moments in those dreams that were kind of coming up to me. That was the only way I could kind of pinpoint what was actually going on with me, what I was feeling or expressing, was because these images came up from previous
Okay,
dreams.
so let me ask you this. How would you relate the feeling to what you might expect to feel if, you went through your whole high school thing, you're coming up on graduation, you're having to say goodbye to your friends because,
Yeah.
you're opening this new chapter. So it's this mixed emotional thing. You're saying goodbye to the old, but you're saying hello to the new. And there is sort of a mourning to that because you're
Yes.
closing this door to this chapter
And
in
it's
your
not a
life.
sad thing,
Right. But it's
but
like
at the same time,
it's an
it
appreciation,
really is.
right?
Thank you, Shane.
Yeah.
That really, yeah, that helps put it in a little bit more perspective. Kind of like that. So it's a real
Hmm.
mix of emotions you feel in a situation like that.
So we need to
Like
cue
that
up the
you're,
Boys to Men. Like, well, that's what they played back in my high
yeah,
school graduation. End of the Road song or whatever. Anyway, sorry.
yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm glad
It
you
would have
really
been funny if I had it ready, though.
popped it in. Yeah. Thank you. That really is a good way to put it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a positive way. I'm always trying to make
Yeah,
things
and it
more
was
positive.
positive. Like it was,
It was emotional but positive.
it was very positive. Like I really felt this overwhelming love, like
Hmm.
and blessedness wash in that was really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Um and the beauty of everything. It kind of put breath back into the beauty of everything, which was great for the experience that I, was having to go see that. And I think it really stuck with me for that trip and just breathing in that whole experience in each moment. And I relaxed into enjoying that trip more than I have enjoyed a vacation and I since I was a child. Because I always, when I was a mom with 3 kids and you're doing all this stuff and you're packing, you're prepping, and then there was so much pressure on the vacation to have a vacation that I never truly relaxed. Um, and this was so different. I was just in each moment. There was never this like, oh, I've only got 2 days left. I really feel like I did step out of time for it and carried the experience in my heart. Like I didn't leave it behind and was able to just instill each thing in the now and not rush it and really took the experience with me in a different way. Hmm.
I think it's cool because it's like, and I've gotten this at different places, like the Rocky Mountains. I got that sense of awe, and when I went to the ocean for my first time, you see all that water, and it's just like your stomach sinks, and it's literally breathtaking as you're. I think we were going over these hills like this, and you couldn't see the road for a minute, so you didn't know if you were going to like kadoosh into the water,
Hmm.
but you're going over these hills like this, and it's like your stomach keeps going like that's a lot of water. But it's
Yeah.
that sense of awe that's sort of that gets in a different area. But like you were saying, you don't get this in the pictures, but when you see these magnificent mountains and they're so much grander and epic than what they show in the pictures. I mean, they're literally gigantic. You
They
can see
really
that
remind us
haziness
we're
and
alive.
yeah,
It's like, they're staying there going, "You're alive,"
it's
and
a
and
sense of awe and appreciation
I
that
think that,
that you get
yeah,
there.
and I think I
I was
really
brought to
felt
tears
that.
at least 2 or 3 times from just the beauty of it and taking
Yeah,
it all in because it
yeah,
is magnificent. Yeah.
yeah. It really was, and it was really inspiring with that, and I really felt that while I was there. It was like you're alive, just breathe it in. It
Let me
really
ask you
helped
this:
do
do you
that.
have any withdrawal going back home? Like, being in the energies and then going back. How did that feel? Did you have any kind of? Did you notice anything?
Um, not for not until just a couple days ago. I mean, the energy was really intense there, and even when I got home, I got like with the new moon, um, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Boom, they really knocked me out. That was some really strong energy coming in there over those days. So, but I really carried that timelessness with me for a while. Um, and then yeah, and then the pot got stirred up with the with the last blast of energies that were, with that what came in, and I had a dream um on the third, and I woke from the dream and all I got was uh a call sign for opening the portal. I was told that the portal was open, and then so that was interesting. And then I go through and I'm looking at all the information, for that day, and everybody's like, portals open, portals open. I'm like, I guess so. I don't know what the call sign was, but I thought that was interesting. Something like hand gestures they were doing at me, like hand gestures, and that's all I got. It was like it's a call sign, it was like in front of my eyes, but I couldn't see what it was. Call sign for a portal opening, and then I really experienced that over like meditation. I experienced nausea. Really felt like I had to go lie down, and it was like sinking into quicksand, like something's just gonna take you away, right?
Hmm.
And was really feeling the spins. I definitely felt a lot of energy over that, and then as it does, right, kind of picks you up and then goes drops you for a little bit. So kind of had to lay flat for a little while. Like, is there a point to doing anything in life?
Yeah.
I go through all this stuff too. Like it picks you up, and and you're like, oh, this I can do this, and this is great, and then the energy will drop out, and you're like, nah. So I still have those ups and downs too, but I really felt something grounded in my heart as far as that experience goes, with the energies that came in, and the activations. I think my higher self chose to be in Sedona really at that time, for that energy coming in over those days. The Schumann was just rocking for the whole time I was away, and I really feel like that was part of it for me, and I really did soak up the experience. Felt a lot of heart chakra expansion, um, and that really opening up and carrying and grounding in, and I really did feel like I carried that home back with me. I could
Yeah.
feel it in the whole process. I could feel that it was instilled in the center strong, really blasted that open, really expanded that foundation of being heart centered as a focus, as a foundation. Could feel the physical impression from it, and
Hmm.
and was really, even through the travels, no matter what was going on, and everything, and through planes, trains, and automobiles getting home, literally, just stayed so centered in that expanded feeling. And even that was an interesting experience, and just sort of watching all this collage go on, and just carrying that home with me the whole
Yeah.
time in my heart.
Well, what about
Um,
being together with other people?
oh,
Was that not the coolest?
that was yeah, that was yeah. How do you do? That's the hard part with coming
Yeah.
home. Um,
But you take a
yeah.
piece of them with you. That's why
Oh,
I think it's important
totally.
that we come together like that. And I was just
Yeah.
typing in the chat that ECETI's August 8th through the 11th, and for that's ECETI for anybody that's
My
just
mom's gonna
listening.
be like, no, not August 11th.
Why?
It's numerology stuff. She's been following and watching that. She's seen these warnings. It's August 11th. That something could
Maybe we're
happen.
supposed to be together then whenever that
Maybe,
happens. Maybe
maybe
she's going
she's
to have
like,
to
just
come
don't
with
go
you.
anywhere near San Francisco. I'm like, okay.
I
Oh, yeah. What are you gonna?
think
I
it's
don't
far
know.
enough away.
Got to
It's
do it. Yeah, got to do what we got to do.
we're it's really interesting because it's the 8-8 portal, I was like, that's it. That's my sign right there. That
Yeah.
Thursday weekend, it was 8/8, and I'm like, we got to go then for sure. And then till the 11th, which
Yeah.
I thought was great. And then I found out I was talking to Angela Gabrielle, the one
Mm.
who gets the messages from Christopher, her son.
Mm-hmm.
His birthday is August 9th. So that
Oh,
Friday, I
awesome.
get to spend with on for Christopher's birthday. I actually
Yeah.
get to spend it with
It's
Christopher's mom, Angela. So
so
that's
she's going to be there.
oh yeah, she's gonna be there for sure.
Well,
Yep,
we're all
she's
going to be
driving
there.
down. She said it's like 8 hours for her to drive from Canada. So yeah, mark your
Oh, right,
calendars, you
because she can go
guys, and
straight down. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're all going to go. So, yeah,
then
I'm
we'll
pretty excited.
energize each other and take a little piece back. And it's
It
kind of
really
like
does.
Megan and
Yeah.
her crystals. Keep putting them together, and they sort of the
We
energy
did
of
that
each
too.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we
it's
all did that
beautiful.
too.
Did you take a little Sedona rock with you or anything?
I did. I picked him up when we were out on the and he just popped up in my line of vision. And even the rest of the time I was looking to see if any other rocks popped up and I was like, no, no, no. But I tell you, I held that little rock. I held this one little nothing, it's cool color. But that rock loves me. Telling you. I've never felt so much love from a rock. Yeah, honestly. And I got it from Bell Rock, and he's as cute as a button. I've never loved a rock before.
Now you got a pet rock. Yeah, Eileen told me her story about taking a rock from the pyramids at Giza, and then she had to send it back. She felt bad about taking it. So when I took a rock, I was like, I asked for permission,
Yeah.
and all just to make sure. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I did
I
too.
imagine
Like
there's
I
a
put it out.
consciousness there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
So
put I put it out for something to stand out. Like if there
right.
was, something that wanted to, because Renee found something really interesting. I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, okay, well, put it in my head to see if something, stood out to me. Yeah, and it did, and it's not. Yeah, and he's just a little rock with a big heart. It's just a little rock with a big heart. I just really felt like you can feel that energy. It takes a few seconds, but and then it just whoosh, just fills you.
Oh,
And
Renee's in here.
who's there?
Saying hi.
Nene,
Renee Garcia.
my Nene. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to send me that,
friends for
Renee.
life. And I found another interesting piece when we went to Buddha Beach. When we were in the water, I was walking through the water, and it was all rocks on the bottom. And I'm looking, and there's this red glow. I'm like, what is that? And it looked like a rock that was glowing red. So I picked it up. I thought it was a rock for a little while, but what it ended up being was a piece of wood. And it was so interesting. It's dried out, you can't see it as much, but when it was wet in the water, the color of this wood, I don't know why, was so red. It even looks like a mini mountain. Here, I have to get it now and show you.
Okay.
He's so cool. So
Wow, it does look like a rock. That's actually.
yeah, and it looks like the mountains, like the way it's being
Mm-hmm.
chiseled and washed away.
Yeah.
But all this inside, under the water, because it's got the same color as the rock there, but it's a piece of wood. And when it was in the water, all this was dark except for these cracks, which were like bright, bright red. So it looked like it had like lava on the inside, but it's
Right.
dried out really neat. And it's like the same color as the rocks, but it's actually this piece of wood. And I just think it's really cool to think about, because it was at the bottom of the creek, and where, yeah,
Seems like it would
what
be
it came
mushy
through.
or something.
No,
It's
it's
like so
really cool.
petrified that it's like
Yeah, like who
preserved.
knows how old this is, and that it's being like, you know,
Yeah.
rubbed away into this, filed down into this like interesting shape that end up being just like another rock
Yeah. Well,
in
wasn't
a
it
mountain
like the,
there.
the, the whole gigantic tree theory where the big mountains are really petrified trees or whatever? Have you ever looked into that? The gigantic
No.
tree? And like the plateaus are tree stumps? It's interesting.
Wow.
It's a
Yeah.
really interesting theory. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that
you
that
never
kind of
know.
looks like it because it looks like it could be a rock in another
Well,
million
if you look
years.
at how big the dinosaurs were, who knows how big the trees were.
Right.
Yeah. Then this is my little rock with a big heart.
Oh, let me go bigger.
He's my little rock. He just, yeah, he was just a little round guy.
Wow.
Didn't look too different from everybody else, but I don't know, for some
Does it
reason he
sparkle in the
stood out.
sun? Have you noticed?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They get the sparkle in the sun. We all noticed that too when we were out there taking out the sun all day and everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
we looked like if you look when you're in the sunlight, see the
Yeah.
crystalline,
Mm-hmm.
and after in the sun all day, and then you look across and it's just like whew, glimmer,
Yeah.
all opalescent glimmer,
Mm-hmm.
just covered. Yeah, very very cool. So yeah, we're all getting glittery.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What else was I gonna tell you?
Love the rock beings. Oh yeah, there were some other theories about some of the rocks do look like mountains look like giants that fell over and lay down and
Yeah.
sort of. Have you seen any of that?
Renee and I were laughing about that. Yeah, she was joking about that. They look like big rock men you were making, and then of
Yeah.
course I do voices for everything. So it's no gum gum dum dum from the movie. Oh, what's the museum where everything comes to life, and there's the big rock statue, and then of course there's the never ending story with the rock,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, I love
the
that. Yeah.
mountain. Yeah, and he eats the rocks. Yeah,
That's cool.
it looked like that would be where he lived.
So overall, sounds like you had a wonderful time.
Yeah, it was amazing. So next trip is in August. So I'm glad we have a date. That's great. I'm gonna be there. So we'll figure out the plans, timing, I guess. Of
Hey, Travis is here too. What's up, man?
there he is, my
Yeah,
brother.
that's
Yeah, you
awesome.
can't. You know what? Those the friendships that we've made, and that was the really nice bonus for me. Because I've gotten to know Renee and Travis, but Tyler, I hadn't met, and that was just amazing. To not meet somebody, and I'm just so in love with him. I'm just so in love with
Yeah,
him.
I've never got to meet Tyler either. But
Ah,
Travis is awesome. Yeah, I got to
Travis,
spend some
I
time
of
with
course,
Travis.
yeah, he is. We had I'm so glad we had that time to share, and then the time I had Renee, and the time we all had together, and
Yeah.
Renee is so inspiring. I think we're all really inspired by Renee and all the things that she does. So that
Yeah,
was
I was
great.
with her call. We got to talk the other night on the
Hmm.
Friday night live stream.
Yeah,
Actually, let me pull this up here and let me share this with you. Share screen.
but yeah, Tyler
Because
was a
this is
real
really
unexpected bonus that I wasn't expecting as much.
we got to talk about this
We got to
because
talk
this is
about that.
baffling.
What is
What the
that about?
this was it this time last year that this was happening a little bit?
Those ticks? Not like that.
This is crazy.
I've never. No, that's just started on the 24th.
Do you
No,
see
I mean,
how
we could see the little lines like over the last
but
six
they're like
weeks. We could see them
broken.
coming out, but they go all the way down. They're like, it's just like I said, Shane, it's just filling up. It's just slowly filling in the gaps.
I'm
I
wondering if that's
really
showing
didn't.
up for you guys. Can you see the little lines up and down? Let me see if I can try to. There we go. Let me do it like this.
For them to be so bright like they are.
See these tiny lines, you
Yeah,
guys, where
they
it
burst.
goes, and they're about what? One,
But they
two, about
burst.
4 an hour or so, a little more than 4 an hour.
Yeah, like every 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then do you see how they're broken into like lines of code?
Yeah, do you see that? It's
What if
like
you could decipher that? That's like binary or
I
something.
wonder, but it's literally filling in though. It's
Yeah.
filling in all the spaces, right? Because we saw the ticks, we saw the lines, because we've seen the patterns sort of slowly starting to come in over the last like 6 weeks or so,
Hmm.
right? And but those lines like really started to get brighter, especially all across the top like that. And the
Yeah.
way that they're going all the way from the top to the bottom
Yeah.
of the
Very
graph, and
strange.
they're just they are very strange. And they're not like there's a little bit of an inhale, there was a bit of a breath, but they literally blasted for a week straight. There was like for a few hours, it's sort of laid off a little bit, but then it's come right back in again.
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, you
You
can see
see, it
here's
laid
where it
off
laid
a little
off.
bit. That's what it normally looks like.
Oh, where it doesn't go all the way down.
Yeah.
See, it's at the top there.
But these are literally filling the screen. That was the first, pause they've had in a while.
Yeah, I've been watching this for the last few days, and I'm like, what is up? It's like we're
But
getting these pulses or something.
hmm
That's what it seems like.
which to me, is I think that that's what we're going to see. Like this graph is just slowly going to fill in more and more and more.
That's interesting. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can see this just getting a blast if they're doing some sort of,
Yeah,
I
like
don't know if it's,
eventually the whole thing's just white.
yeah.
Like that's kind of what I see happening. Like when we get those big strong blasts, those spikes, but that's it, the vibration, the frequency is raising and it's I think you can see the evidence of that with the Schumann because it's just filling in and filling in and filling in.
It's really
And
interesting.
it's just becoming more and more consistent. We're getting stronger blasts more often. And then now these the micro blasts that well that's a whole new thing now. What else is going to be new next week, 2 weeks from now?
Right.
So we keep seeing these new things, new patterns. Um, but in essence, they're all just they're just filling it in. And I think that's what as these frequencies are just going to fill in and fill in and fill in, we're going to see that graph get wider and wider and wider.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool. I wish they had a bigger graph or a broader range on the graph to really keep a better look. But that website you told us about before actually gets in. You can see like it's not the same type of thing, but you can see a bar graph that shows you exactly how high it gets.
Yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
think that links in the
And he will
description
just
actually.
point form disclosure news, and he will just point form put out what
Yeah,
the
I have that
peaks
link
were,
below.
right? If you just want like
Disclosure
quick
news.
little updates of what the
Hmm.
actual peaks were and when they were, he does put that out, which is really helpful because the graph doesn't show that. So, but and that's what you can see. You can see that it's just gradually getting more and more and more.
Excuse me.
It's
Sneezing.
okay. Good timing on that. Wow. You're like a professional.
Oh my gosh, I cough like that with Eileen on one of the shows, and I hit the mute button. You know how these Yetis, the button sometimes mutes to unmutes in one push? Have you had that happen before? Just be aware it happens sometimes. So.
The dogs are barking, so now I'm clean.
Nice job. Yeah. And I hate the click they make when you turn it back on. You can always tell.
What, like that?
Yeah.
Hi,
Actually,
Zoe.
wasn't that bad.
Come say hi, Zoe. Come say hi. Miss the dogs. That was
Hey,
hard.
Zoe.
Here she
Still happy to have you
is.
back.
Yeah, she was. Oh,
Was she acting pitiful when
she
you
was
came
a
back?
little quiet. Mom said, but they were fine. They were fine. They were fine. But I was glad to get home to them, my babies. Mm-hmm.
Don't
Archer
you?
made the most pathetic noise I've ever heard in my life when he got in the
Oh.
door. I was like, "You're breaking my heart." Yeah.
Wouldn't you have loved to have her on the hike with you though? Wouldn't that have
Oh
been? She would
gosh,
have loved
yeah.
it.
Yeah, she would have been off chasing lizards. Actually, he would have been chasing the lizards. Yeah, I do wish for out. Yeah, they would just enjoy it so much. But yeah, poor Renee was going to bring Phoenix, and she wasn't able to do that. That was really disappointing. So we were both had a bit of animal pet homesickness, but
Now let me ask you this: with the elevation, the air is much thinner. Were you really? Did you have the realization of how out of shape you were as you're like hiking around? Because oh my god, I'm like,
yeah,
stop!
I
Let's
was
stop and take more
trying.
pictures.
I was trying so hard to look cool.
Like,
Like
hey, this is a
really.
great place. No need to rush. Let's sit here. You know. And
Yeah, I'm like, you're just gonna have to give me a second. Well, let's
yeah,
say
it's
that
like
I
the
had
air
to,
is so
remind
thin.
them. I'm
For
not
me, it
as
was the
young as they
breathing.
appear.
It was the breathing more than the body. I mean, it was like rough on the body. It was tiring on the body, climbing and all that. But and you know, I felt my legs getting fatigued from having to
Hmm.
slow myself down, coming back down, and all that. But
Yeah.
really, it was the breathing. The air was so thin. I just found
Really? See,
myself
I
just,
wasn't even thinking about that. So maybe I shouldn't have been so hard on myself that I was taking a toll because I did find it difficult at a couple times, but I did
mm,
it in, I just did it in increments. I didn't push myself too far. I didn't want to ruin the experience. And I was certainly with the most patient people. So,
I was
um,
okay once I started taking deep, just breathing deeper, like by
mhm.
default.
Yeah, I just kept in it as much as I could in a nice even pace breathing,
Yeah.
just kept to my meditative breathing as much as
hmm
possible. Um and then just did it when it was getting too much, then it's time to catch your breath again. Yeah, it was definitely the breathing more than the muscles.
Were you
Yeah.
surprised at how much of a tourist town it was?
Um no, not really. It did get not no, I mean not really. Um I really liked how the town kept that certain look, like really
Yeah.
kept that same unique look to it. Um we had the Friday and the Monday there, so it wasn't just the weekend. But the traffic was pretty crazy on the
Yeah.
weekend through town. Yeah, it was a little yeah, but I can understand why. So, it's pretty gorgeous there. But there was, you know what, there was so much to see. I had fun with the little shops, and we went in town and played the xylophones. They had this whole thing set up where they had all these xylophones.
Mm.
So, and there's exactly four of them. So, exactly four of us got to play them. And that, well, yeah, we jammed for a while. It was really fun.
Like kids.
It
I love
was a
it.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine. I love it.
It's so many great little experiences like that.
Isn't it
It's
hard
pretty
to?
crazy to
It's
think
hard to get
about.
everything done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's neat to find like a group of, people like that to go have that much fun with and just be
Yeah.
a kid
Yeah.
and just enjoy everything without any stress or anybody being difficult or any of that stuff. Like that was just a great experience to just be so laid back and relaxed with everybody, to totally be your goofy self, because I'm pretty goofy. So these guys can tell you firsthand I'm like pretty goofy. So,
Now,
but
the way you went to Slight Rock, if you keep going that way, that takes you to Flagstaff, and that drive is so beautiful. I don't know. Did you guys make it that way very far?
um, I don't know if we went in that direction. It just would have been to and from Phoenix.
No, this would be the other direction,
Yeah, so then
north
we didn't go
rather than
that way.
south. It was the way
Yeah,
Slight Rock was. So you would have
right,
started in between the mountains there, where you go to Slight Rock. You
right.
keep
And
going
you
past
kept
that,
going.
and then
That
yeah, and
was
then you
beautiful there. Like
there's like
I
spots
think,
where it's like
yeah,
5 miles an hour around these tight curves, and you're actually driving up and up the mountain, curving around, and you can look
yeah,
over and see down to where Slight Rock and Sedona is. It's a really cool view that way.
yeah. Well, we did going into Slide Rock. It was like that. We did go through that where it was like you're slowly going down and down and down into the canyon, and everything just gets greener and greener and greener and greener as you go. Now that
Yeah.
was really cool. I can't help. And they had those little cottages in the original buildings there, and I'm like, how cool would that be?
Oh
Like a
yeah,
hundred
with the
years
equipment,
ago.
farm equipment, and all
The
that.
farm equipment,
It's
the
so
apple
crazy to think
orchard.
you were just there and I was just there like a month ago. That's so
Yeah.
wild.
Did you see? Yeah. I was like, how cool would that be, eh, Shane? To just like, can you imagine getting up? That's your view every day. And I know it gets hot there, but they've got that awesome creek. You know,
Yeah. Well,
you
the
just
way I was
cool
just telling you
down.
to drive, if you drive that way for about, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, you're driving up the mountain and there's snow on the ground still. There's still snow on the ground because you go up in elevation so high that it just
Yeah.
never melts because the trees, it's always there. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Which
how's
is
there
crazy to
snow?
think of.
And then I
And on
see
the
the people
plane. Yeah.
swimming in the water. I'm like, that water's got to be from this snow
Cold.
melting.
It was cold. But yeah, I on the way back, the plane flew over Colorado, and it was just covered in snow. It was all covered in snow. So I didn't have snow here when we got back, thankfully. But yeah, I was surprised to see how much snow, not that far considering from where I was. Um the plane, within half an hour of the plane taking off, I'm looking out and it's snow.
Yeah.
So
How was the flight? Did you get any cool pictures out the window or anything? Was it nice looking out there?
oh, that was I just loved it. I love roller coasters, so I just love that whole thing. The heights, I love all of it. I had a cramp in my neck from having my face pressed to the window looking out. You know, like right over the wing. I was like right over the wing, so that totally reminded me of the Twilight Zone episode with William Shatner. He sees the monster out on the wing, ripping the plane apart. Nobody believes him. So I turned to the guy next to me. You remember that scene from? Shh, Michelle.
Oh my god! Don't bring it up until we're about to land.
Yeah, don't bring that up too. Yeah. But it was really, really cool when it was coming in. It was a real moment for me when I was like circling in over the airport coming in and I saw my first palm tree like I've ever seen. And I started crying.
And
Right.
cactus,
I
the
saw the
cactus are cool.
mountains and when we're landing in Phoenix. And I was like, and I just wasn't, it just hit me off guard. I don't know, wasn't thinking about palm trees. But the fact is, I've never seen one and it was just really cool and the mountains and the Phoenix and I'm like I've seen so many videos of the Phoenix lights and I'm like that's where the mountains are and going in and yeah and just seeing the palm trees I was like oh I've finally seen a palm tree. I'm like okay I can kick the bucket now. I've finally seen a palm tree.
Don't you love them? I love
I
palm trees.
do. I absolutely love them. And the cactuses there were crazy too. Giant cactuses. But yeah, that was really cool. And the lizards just sitting out. Like here we have chipmunks and squirrels, sitting out and having my coffee in the morning and there just goes a little lizard along the top of the fence. He just stopped, did a few push-ups, right?
Yeah.
Sang a little song and then off he went. But that was just kind of cool,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my wife kept telling me, check your shoes before you put them on. There might be a what do you call the scorpion? A
Scorpions?
scorpion. I'm like, really? I'm like, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't think
But
about that too much. While I was wearing flip-flops. Yeah, I didn't think that. I did see one snake, but just a little one. Just a little one. I think I've gotten over my snake phobia, hopefully. So,
well, that's a really nice mark off on the bucket list because going there was
it
was
really
huge.
is. So my next one is seeing a UFO at ESETI. That's the next one on the bucket
Yeah, me
list.
too. And I think we're gonna have a lot of sightings there. Yep,
I
that's my
think so too.
7-7.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Wait, for sure, for sure. So, but yeah, till then, I think we've got a lot of energy coming in. June seems to be a month full of possibilities as far as energy waves. Even Shri and Kira have marked that as bringing in a big blast of energy. So, I'm looking to get more details from them, but it seems to fall in line. So we'll see what happens. I think we're gonna keep seeing that Schumann fill in, but I think we could possibly really get a really good blast of something new in June.
Very nice.
Yeah, I do think so. So we'll see.
Awesomeness. Well, do we have any other announcements before we call it a day on this one? Or did you have any dreams since you got back? Did you have any?
Yeah, about the portal. I've been having a lot more fun in dreams. Did yeah over like the
More
three.
pleasure, less business.
Yeah,
Training and
more
stuff.
like playing at camp. But then I was I did see that there was some activations going on in the third to the fifth there. I
Mm-hmm.
was shown again where it kind of like zooms in and I was seeing another kind of activation. I was being told that there was another activation going on.
Excellent.
So I did see that. Jeez, I know there was a few things, but I can't think of anything standing out right now. But
Well,
yeah.
I do have your email on the screen there for anybody that would like to share their dreams with you. And wolf.art101@gmail.com.
Hmm.
Perfect.
If you want
All right.
a dream sympathizer.
Plus, well, what I like about it is, you mention something and someone else mentions something, you get it out there, somebody says in the chat, and then you can start making these correlations between things and similarities between things. You
That's
know?
it. You know what? You can't do it all on your own, but it really is taking all these little pieces and listening to the clues. Oh, you know what I do want to say is, because it's just been absolutely remarkable how much I've seen it. So all the time going before the trip, for
Mm-hmm.
like, it was 33, 3 threes, 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3. And even where we went to the convention was 333 Schnebley Road, Schnebley
Yep.
Road. Like everything was three. Now, since the third to the fifth, since that, now it's not that I never got 44s, but it's now it's like the 44s are off the hook. Crazy, how constant it is. Like it's even kind of freaking me out. That's a lot to say, but the 33s were just constant. Now it seems to trickle down, but I cannot believe the 44s that are coming out right now. So I did want to mention that, because it's far more than ever. It's
Yeah, the strange one for
ridiculous.
me that's been coming up that's odd is sevens. I've been having sevens come up, which doesn't happen a lot, but
Yeah,
in
it's
synchronistic ways. Like I just, even a minute ago, I looked and there were 77 people watching. I'm like, there it is again.
there it is again.
Odometer
Yeah, I wonder if
777.
even it's just to get us to go. I don't know if it even all has a specific meaning. Maybe it does,
Yeah,
maybe it doesn't, but you just can't help when it's so incredibly constant. And I think what I have more than anything is just how much it's happening. It's not even the relevance of even the
right.
number so much. I think it's interesting that switched from 33s to 44s,
Yeah.
but this is really, really getting nuts. Yeah. Really, I have to tell you that.
Loving every minute of it.
Yeah, TikTok.
Well, lots of love and light to all of you guys in the chat. Thanks for joining us, and thank you guys
Guys,
watching this later. Thank you, Michelle, for being here and sharing your
thanks for listening and
experiences.
sharing about my trip. It's really nice. Really nice of you.
No problem. It was awesome.
Thanks,
And we'll
guys.
see you guys in the next one. Peace. If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.